How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about the Steam Deck, and we have a big video today. I've got 4 topics to cover. The first one's really quick. It's just a PSA about a plugin to avoid in Decky Loader because it's causing boot loops. Then we're going to talk about how Valve looks like they're teasing SteamOS 3.0's full release in the latest beta update. After that, we're going to talk about this Humble Choice bundle that you should definitely grab while you can. And finally, I'm going to give you a new survival horror game recommendation, and this one is another great one. All right, first up real quick, here's the PSA. If you have Decky Loader installed on your Steam Deck and you have the music control plugin, the one that allows you to skip songs and everything like that when you're listening to music, uninstall that. Whether you're on the older version, the 2.0 version, or the 3.0 version, which is the latest version, it's causing boot loops for people's Steam Deck, which sucks because you basically have to reflash your entire operating system to fix it. It seems like it's pretty easy to uninstall and a lot of people aren't really using it in the first place. I've noticed on the Steam Deck Reddit that people are talking about boot loops, and this is definitely the reason why, because they came out and said it. So yeah, if you have the music control plugin installed for Decky Loader, make sure you uninstall it. I don't really use Decky Loader anymore. I was using it for game recording, and the new game recording feature on the Steam Deck works great. So yeah, I don't really have much of a need for it anymore. Anyway, that brings us to the first real news story of this video, which is that it looks like Valve might be teasing the full release of SteamOS 3.0. So there's a new beta out and there's a ton of fixes and everything like that fixes black screens, boot loops, everything under the sun that would stop your Steam Deck from working correctly. There's performance improvements for SteamOS 3.0 on the Steam Deck OLED, which will cause it to boot up faster from cold boot, which is great. There's even improvements that specifically apply to the limited edition model, which is kind of interesting. But way down at the bottom of the change logs, there's one curious little point that talks about adding support in SteamOS for the ROG Ally and Ally X's extra buttons. And the reason this is interesting is because it's not in a Steam client beta update, it's in a full SteamOS update, right? So if they wanted to add the support for these buttons in Steam, they would just make it an update on Steam so that everyone with a ROG Ally or a regular gaming PC would get that feature added. But this time around, they're putting it in an official beta update for SteamOS. So what does that really mean? Well, it seems like they're getting it ready to launch and be able to be installed on other devices like the ROG Ally and Ally X. I gotta be honest, I don't really care all that much personally about installing a SteamOS 3.0 on the ROG Ally X. It works fine with Windows. I don't like that operating system, but I like being able to play games like Call of Duty and everything like that. And if I installed SteamOS 3.0, it would kind of defeat the purpose of what I'm using the Ally X for, because every other game that I play on my Steam Deck OLED. But for people who only have an ROG Ally or Ally X, I mean, that's just a great thing overall because you could just dual boot SteamOS. What I'm really excited about is being able to dual boot it on my main gaming laptop. I have a Razer Blade with a 4090 in it and it's awesome. I love playing PC games on it, but I have been waiting to be able to install SteamOS 3.0 because I have 2 SSD slots, and in my main SSD slot I have 1 terabyte, but in my second one I've got 2 terabytes. So basically I have a whole partition ready to go that's a terabyte big so that I can install SteamOS 3.0 when it does become available. The biggest reason I want to do that is the bane of my existence on PC, which is stuttering. If you haven't been around in the Steam Deck ecosystem for a long time, and I have noticed a lot of new subscribers, so I will explain this. One of the biggest problems with Windows gaming on PC is shader compilation. So essentially, when you start a game up, when you do anything for the first time and an animation runs for the first time, you're going to see a 1-second micro stutter. And after that animation runs, you'll never see it again. But it really does ruin a lot of games for me when I'm playing them and there's a 1-second micro stutter whenever I do anything for the first time. And it really doesn't only happen once, because if you ever update your graphics drivers or you change your settings for the game, all of your shaders that are cached get cleared out and then you have to run through it all again. So it's a big pain in the ass. But on the Steam Deck with SteamOS, every game that you install on your Steam Deck basically looks at the cloud and says, oh, someone else has played this game before, so we have their shaders already in the cloud. It'll download them to your Steam Deck and then you won't go through that stuttering process. So games like Elden Ring look and run a lot better on SteamOS or Linux than they do on Windows because that game has major shader compilation issues. If Call of Duty's anti-cheat allowed it to run, the same thing would be true there. There are plenty of other games that have shader compilation issues on PC that would work better on SteamOS. And those are the ones that I'm really excited to play when SteamOS fully becomes available. And I know Bazite is out there. My buddy Rich, Fan the Deck, who I mention every week on this channel, it seems like, he did a whole video on how to install Bazite on the ROG Ally X, and it looks like it came out awesome. I just want the official stuff. You know, I'm not this super tech wizard. I don't work in IT. I'm not this like master hacker computer programmer guy. I want something that I can download as an installer and install to a partition. That's about where my technical know-how caps out. And I don't want Bazite because it seems like every time Steam gets an update, you have to basically go through a lot of steps to fix it. So it's just not really something I'm interested in. I just want the official version, even though with Valve, that bit me in the ass with the docks. I was like so excited for the official Steam Deck dock to come out, then it does, and it sucks compared to all the other docks, and it's more expensive. So like, yeah, that was not a great situation, but I have a lot more trust in them with SteamOS 3.0 because the Steam Deck's been out for over 2 years now, and they've been promising it will finally happen for a long time now. And look, I know that it might not be a real tease, but honestly, it is odd. They've never really done something like this with a SteamOS update. And like I just said, it's been a very long time since the Steam Deck came out, and this was an announced thing before the Steam Deck even released. They were like, hey, we're rebuilding SteamOS, we're doing 3.0, we will eventually release it to be installed on other computers, and I'm hoping that because of this extended wait, we essentially get the ability to install it on computers with NVIDIA's graphics cards, because as I just mentioned, I have a 4090, and using NVIDIA with Linux apparently is a lot harder than using an AMD graphics card, and I am not about to build a whole new PC to have a SteamOS 3.0 PC. I want it to work day one on my NVIDIA machine. So hopefully this long wait results in that being available, but man, I hope this is a tease because it has been a long time coming and I'm very excited to try it out. And that brings us to the third news story, which is that you should definitely check out the Humble Bundle this month. Not the regular Humble Bundle, the Humble Choice Bundle, which you subscribe for $12 and then you can cancel it and then get all these games for 12 bucks, which is really cool. I've never subscribed to it and I already own all these games, which is why I'm telling you to grab them. But if I didn't own these games, I would definitely be subscribing for a month and canceling my subscription. So this month for 12 bucks, you can get Sifu, which is basically like a John Wick game without guns. It's a sort of Souls-like that's Kung Fu inspired. I thought it was awesome. When it launched, it actually came to PS Plus, so I played it on PS5, but I looked into it on Steam Deck and you can run it at medium and high settings at a locked 40 FPS, so you'll get a great experience out of that. Gotham Knights is in the list. I thought Gotham Knights was solid. Like, it was a 7 out of 10 open world Batman game. There were some story things that I thought were incredibly stupid and it was really hard to run, but they've done a lot of patches for it, and now it looks like at a mix of medium and low settings, you can get a locked 30 out of the Steam Deck. So if you missed this game, it's a next gen game. It was only available on PS5 and Series X, so that's kind of nice, and getting it for free with this bundle is pretty cool. Third on the list is a game I've never heard of called Blacktail, but it has very positive reviews on Steam and it is verified for the Steam Deck. Fourth on the list is Diluvian Ultra, another one I've never heard of that has very positive reviews. Universe for Sale is the fifth one, which again has a very positive rating, and This Means Warp, which is Steam Deck playable and has a mostly positive rating. So if you added up the amount of money that this bundle would cost at full price, it'd be like $200, so paying 12 bucks is a good deal objectively. There's a huge spider right here. I gotta kill it really quick. I'm not gonna kill it. I'm just gonna take its web and put it on the floor and let him go free. I like spiders. They're kind of cute. If you see them up close with the big eyes and everything, I like spiders. But yeah, for 12 bucks, I feel like this bundle's a no-brainer, mainly for Sifu, because that game I'm pretty sure is $40 regularly. So even if you just play that, you're getting a great game for 12 bucks. And then all the other ones like Gotham Knights and everything else is just a bonus. So yeah, I don't really ever do shout outs for Humble Bundles, but I saw this one included Sifu, so I figured I'd give you guys the quick PSA. And then finally, I wanted to tell you about a great game that I'm playing on my Steam Deck right now. It's called Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. So I gotta be honest, I was never really a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan, and then Blumhouse put out their movie last year, and Mike, the main character, is basically like a Sigma character. So me and my buddies all love to use his lines from the movie, and we love sending TikTok edits of Mike to each other because Mike is just a badass. I absolutely loved him. And honestly, like as far as Blumhouse movies go, I thought it was pretty decent, and it kind of got me to look into these 3-hour lore videos on Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I'm pretty pretty sure Wendigoon did one, and I watched it for around a week or so at the gym, and I am like fully into the lore of this series. But the iPad style games where you would sit in the control room and then close the doors, I played that in like high school or college, I want to say, and I'm kind of over it. But this game is awesome because it's a full-on survival horror game. It's a pixel art game that has a full-on narrative where you play as this kid named Oswald, and your dad is struggling to make ends meet, so he drops you off at this old pizza parlor every day while he goes to work at the convenience store. You find a ball pit in the back that's closed off, you climb in, you get teleported back in time to when this pizza parlor was Freddy Fazbear's, and it just so happens that on the day you get sent back in time, that's when all the animatronics went crazy and started killing people. So that's when it becomes a survival horror game, because you have to hide from the animatronics, and when you hide under tables and stuff, it goes into this first person view and you see the feet of the different animatronics walking by, and when they find you, it's absolutely terrifying. Like, there are jump scares in this game that legitimately got me, and if you didn't know, my favorite type of thing is horror. I love horror movies and horror games. Nothing really scares me anymore, but like, there were scary moments in this game that really got me. The narrative actually is well written and seems like it's pretty deep, because Golden Freddy, who I'm pretty sure is like the main Freddy animatronic that William Afton takes over, he ends up coming to the future, like modern day, and he takes over your dad, and your friends in the game can die. So there's a good element of multiple endings, saving your friends and everything like that. It runs perfectly on the Steam Deck. I'm playing it at 90 hertz, 90 FPS. It's one of those games that's so light that it doesn't even have graphics modes, and you know, it's 20 bucks as well. I think it's an instant buy on the Steam Deck. Whether you're into Five Nights at Freddy's or not, it's a good origin story for the series, and it makes it a little bit more adult and scary, and it's cheap, and it runs well on the Steam Deck. So really, what more can you ask for? Unless you're someone who doesn't like jump scares, then I would not recommend it, because as I said, the jump scares in this game scare the crap out of me. They are really good jump scares. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got for you in today's video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.